it's April and welcome to Snapdragon Cards. Today is Monday and I'm starting a new series, Pokémail Monday. So today's the day. Every Monday I'll post where I open up all the Pokémail that I get during the week. I ordered lots of singles for various collections, my fairy type cards. I'm working on my Temporal Forces binder, as well as a few other special cards. So I'm going to go ahead and open up all of my Pokémail here, share with you what I got this week, and then add it to the binders. And you can see joining us today, I have my little Jigglypuff doll there and my recent addition. I picked up this adorable Pikachu Monchichi doll this past week at the mall. I was just in a random store and I love Monchichi. I collect Monchichi dolls as well. And when I saw it in a Pikachu costume here, I knew I had to get that. So I thought I would bring that out today. And it can be a mascot for today along with Jigglypuff while we open up our Pokémail. So I'll get this opened all up and come back and share with you what I got. Okay, I have opened up all the packages here and you can see this is a very heavily pink week here for Pokémail. I ordered a lot of the actual fairy type cards for my fairy type card collection. Originally, I was just going to collect a card for each of the Pokemon characters that were at one point fairy type on a list that I was going by based on fairy type. Then I decided I really wanted to hunt down as many actual fairy type cards as possible for that collection. I really love the hot pink card. I really like that they show the fairy type little stamp there of energy, fairy type energy, and I just think that this will really make my fairy type Pokemon card collection a lot nicer. So you'll see a ton of that in the mix today. Some of the fairy types I have not been able to, I'm not even sure they made, like for example Milcery. I'm not sure they ever made Milcery, who is considered a fairy type, or at least was at one point considered a fairy type. So it is on that list, but I cannot find it in the fairy type card. So in that case, I just have a Milcery page of all the Milcery cards that I can find. I also have ordered a really nice stack of cards to go in my Temporal Forces binder. That's the green binder. I am still trying to work on a master set for Temporal Forces. I was considering doing that for Temporal Forces and Destined Rivals. I am not 100% sure I want to attempt that with Destined Rivals anymore, but I still really want to get a master set for Temporal Forces. It was the first set that I really found a lot of cards for and opened up initially when I started back up on this hobby a couple of months ago. It's just a special set for me and I absolutely love all the art in it. So I want to keep working on that one. So that is what I bought today. So I'm going to go ahead and organize this a little bit into fairy types and Temporal Forces and show you all those cards. Okay, I've got them all organized in groups here and we'll start with these two. These were just freebies that one of the vendors sent along, a really cute Vulpix here, and this one, I can't remember if that's Sheldor or what. One of those anyway. Really cute and really fun, and I'll definitely add these into my bulk collection for now. I really do love this one. It's really cute. So that was fun. And then this is just another sort of one that I ordered for a page that I'm working on, a collection that I'm working on for Drampa. I recently shared in my Temporal Forces binder the illustration rare for the Drampa. I just love that one. And then I decided I would do a whole page of Drampa. So I'm going to try to collect all the Drampa cards. So I got this one here. I think it's really cute. And I got it in the holo as well. Really love the design of this holo. It's really neat. These two are from Cosmic Eclipse, so not a series that I'm familiar with at all, but again, I'm just hunting down all the Drampas. I just think he's great. So that is that. I'm excited to put that in a special page for him, and I'll share that when I finish that or get closer to that. But you may see more show up in Pokémail Mondays. And then we have a small collection here for Temporal Forces. I needed some of the reverse hollows, and I'm just kind of going in order. Every week or so, I'm going to go in order and order the missing ones from a few pages until I get that finished up here. So we've got our Whimsicott reverse hollow, our Bramblegast reverse hollow, our Carvana reverse holo, our Marcargo reverse holo. I really enjoy this card. I think it's really fun. Torracat, and this is just a standard card. I didn't have that one. A reverse holo for Centiscorch. It's a cool card. Breloom, just the standard card. And Keldeo, reverse holo, and Grubbin, just the standard, and Grubbin reverse holo. And then one of the EXs that I needed here, the Scovillain. So the Scovillain EX. So that looks really neat. It looks like a two-headed snapping turtle there. It kind of looks a little bit like a Hydrapple, but different. So I just thought that that was really neat, and I needed that for the Temporal Forces binder. So that will go a long way towards, you know, working on my Temporal Forces binder. I am going to be opening up later on this week in a cute pack battle another Temporal Forces ETB. I opened up one of them in sort of the greenish color for Temporal Forces, but there are two Temporal Forces cover arts for the Elite Trainer boxes, and I wanted the special card from that, and I just wanted the chance to see how much more of this set I can finish with another ETB. So we're going to go ahead and battle that out with a Journey Together ETB, my first Journey Together ETB. That's another set that I'm really interested in seeing the artwork in and stuff like that. So we'll do a cute pack battle between those two, and hopefully that'll go a long way towards helping me complete my Temporal Forces binder here. Although I will say, as I've been opening booster packs for Temporal Forces lately, I've only been getting like one or two to add to the binder for each pack. So it's starting to be more worth it to pick up the rest of that collection in singles. And I've purchased all of these off of eBay from various sellers. Okay, so the largest stack of cards, I was really having fun hunting down these fairy type cards this week. I can't remember if I've shared the video yet on this channel. I may have filmed it, and it may be coming up later in the mix, where I did get a lot of these fairy type cards, but I had failed to read the fine print on the description, and they were very, very used. So I didn't like them. They were too used for my binder. Sadly, they didn't smell very good, and they were in really rough shape. So we'll save those for some other project. But yes, it did help in that it showed me some of the cards that I needed. So let's go ahead and get started looking through this awesome pack here. And then when I'm done showing you this, I will go off camera, get them all sleeved up. These fairy ones will go in my pink sleeves, and I'll get these in penny sleeves and get them in my binder. So we have Jigglypuff here. This one here, I'll just show you the different artwork. I don't know the names of all these sets here. Here's another Jigglypuff. I've put them in order of character. Jigglypuff there. I love Jigglypuff. I'm trying to collect a huge collection of Jigglypuff cards. Then we move over to Wigglytuff, who is so cute. I love this forest scene here. Here he is sleeping. And this other one here where he's running through the woods. I just think that's so cute. And then here's Clefairy at night. And another Clefairy at night here. This Clefairy. And then we have Clefable. And then we move into Swirlix, who's so cute and funny. I loved this holo here. The design is just so pretty. Very fun. And this one is the just standard version of that same card. And this Swirlix, and this Slurpuff, which is really cute. We have another Slurpuff in a reverse holo that is just, again, beautiful. And Spritzy, and this Spritzy, and this Spritzy in the reverse holo. And then we have Aromatisse. And this Aromatisse, Flabébé. Here we are into the Flabébés. I got a bunch of them. This one I didn't realize there were so many of the fairy type cards for Flabébé. There are quite a few out there. I don't even think I have them all yet, but we will continue hunting them down little by little. Flabébé. We have this reverse holo Flabébé. That one is also really pretty. And at some point I'll do like a really long in-depth tour of my fairy type binder as I get that closer to completion, and we'll talk about, you know, where the cards, what sets these cards are actually from and that sort of thing. Flabébé. And then we have Floette. That's a super cute, really pretty card here. This Floette and this Floette. You can see Snubble in the back there. And this one here, I can't remember her name though, but so cute. I love it when they have other people in, other characters in the artwork. Here's a reverse holo of that one. And this Floette. And then we have Florget. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but we'll go with that for now. And a Cottony. And this Cottony. And this Cottony. And then we have some Mr. Mime here. And we have this Mr. Mime, which I think is really cool artwork. I just love the scene in the back there. And then we have a Mimikyu. I hardly had any Mimikyu in my binder, so I was happy to pick out one that was an actual fairy type card. Same with the Sylveon. I may already have that card, but we'll see. And then a Kirlia. And a Meryl. This Meryl in the reverse holo. This really cool one that has like both types, water type and fairy type, of the Azumarill. I thought that was really cool. I haven't seen any cards like that before, so I definitely wanted that in my fairy binder. And Azumarill, a reverse holo. And a Azurill reverse holo here. Now this one, I almost need two of these because I also collect all the crochet cards, and this would be really pretty in that binder as well. It's actually not in its own binder. It's just going to be on a few pages. But for now, this will be in the fairy binder because it is an actual fairy type card. And here we have this one. I know I have extra of this one. Azurill. And Snubble, he's like under the table here. He has a broken a vase, it looks like, is really cute. A Snubble one there. And then we have Klefki. And we have Xerneas. And Ralts. And another Ralts here. This one is not a fairy type card. As you can see, it like switches back to purple. Once I think that they stopped having the fairy type. I'm not 100% sure when that happened, but I just know that that did happen. And then there's, again, some of those cards that I just cannot find in the pink card, but I have heard that they are a fairy type. So I do want to research that more, but just to be on the safe side, I did want to grab this one, the Cresselia. It's really pretty. And then this Primarina. I didn't have her on my original list, but this is just a gorgeous card here. And then we have an adorable Igglybuff. There are not too many Igglybuff cards that I have been able to find yet. And then we have another Primarina here. And we have this Milcery here. It's a really pretty holo of Milcery. So those are my cards for Pokémail Monday, and I have a lot of organizing here to do, so I'm going to go ahead and get these sleeved up in their proper sleeves and into their binders. I'll come back and show you what they look like in the binders. So this is what it looks like when I get everything organized. You can see how pretty these fairy cards will look in their pink dragon shield sleeves there. They're just so pretty. I love the uniformity of the way it makes these cards look. So I just thought I'd show you that. It took a bit of time. I think I'm going to have to be ordering some more pink sleeves soon. And then here are my Temporal Forces ones about to go into the binder. And I put the two Drampa ones in this yellow binder here, this yellow Voltex binder. I don't have anything else in this binder yet. The first few pages are going to be a Pokemon collection, and then the rest of this binder is going to be for some of my favorite character collections, and Drampa is going to be one of those. So I thought I would go ahead and store them in here for now. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop these into the Temporal Forces binder. I will put the fairy cards in off camera just because there are so many. But there aren't as many in this binder, and it should be pretty easy to get them in the binder here. So we have our first one here. This is number 22. So if I got my numbering correct, we should be good to be able to slide it in place there. Okay, goes right there. And then going back, we'll find number 7 for Breloom. And it'll go right in here. So now we have page 1 done, page 2 and 3 done. And let's see, we will work on page 4 here. Okay, here is our Whimsicott to go right up here. And our Grubbins go right down here. So there's page 4. And the last one needed for page 5, Bramblegast. So this is just a really nice way to do this. Just going through and filling in those spots here. Got a couple spots on this page. I guess I did not get the Slugma Reverse Hollow, but I will have to hunt him down. I did get the Marcargo, so we'll put that right there. And the Torracat will go right here. So we still need to hunt down that Slugma. And let's see, we've got our Centiskorch for this page. So I know we've got a couple missing here. So we'll have to continue working on this page, but let's see. I think we've got a few for here anyway. We'll go ahead and put the Kaleido in over here. And the Carvana right here. So we need a few still for this page. So I believe next week I will order the ones for at least these next few pages here. Here we have a lot of missing ones, so perhaps we'll work on some of this page as well. So those are the ones that went in our Temporal Forces binder. Little by little, we will get that master set done. And now to work on organizing all of the fairy cards. Okay, that took a bit of work. I am starting to run out of space in my fairy binder, so I'm gonna have to either get a bigger binder or be a little bit more picky about what goes in here. I could, of course, edit this front page, but I just kind of liked it as like the title page with all the fairy energy and fairy garden here. And then we have our Jigglypuff collection. I am going to keep my Jigglypuff collection in this binder, even if they are not fairy type cards. But you can see I've got a nice collection of just the fairy type cards and then some of just Jigglypuff here. So I've left 2 pages for him because I do want to have a really nice collection of Jigglypuff. Then we have Wigglytuff here. We're starting to get a nice collection of those fairy cards, and here are some of the non-fairy type cards for Wigglypuff. Then we've got 2 Igglybuff and a Cleffa here, and Clefairy here. We've got 6 of those. I've left a little space for that, and then Clefairy here. These are the non-fairy type cards, but they're really pretty, including this illustration. So that's a nice collection of Clefairy. I really do love all of these first few very pink and adorable Pokemon here. So then we have Clefable, and these are the fairy types, and then some non-fairy types. Then we've got a whole page left for those as well. Then we move into some other pages here. There's Swirlix. Got a lot of the fairy cards for that, and then Slurpuff. And then we have Spritzy. And then Aromatisse. And then we have Togepi and Togetic and Togekiss. And then we have a blank page, which is good because there are still some missing from this binder. So we will need space without having to move around too much of these cards because it's kind of difficult to take them out and put them in to make space. But I will, of course, keep doing that till I get it just right. Mr. Mime here. And then we have only 1 Mime Jr. I would really love to find a fairy type card if I can for Mime Jr. I know there are not very many cards for him. And I will need to find at least 1 more Mime Jr. because I am going to be doing a Pokédex project here coming up real soon. I just got the binder for that, so I'm excited to do that as well over the course of like a year probably. And then we have a Milcery page and Alchemy. These are pages that I cannot find any fairy cards for. You'll have to let me know in the comments if you know if they do have the pink fairy type cards for Milcery or Alchemy or like Fido here and Doxbun. I don't have very many of these 2, but I'd like to get some more. I think they're so cute. And then we have our Tinkatink page here. I don't have any of the fairy type for Tinkatink, the pink ones, or Tinkatuff, but we do have a nice collection of them and Tinkaton here. And then let's see, we have our Ralts and Kirlia and Gardevoir page. So we've got these. We've got some fairy cards and some regular cards for those three. And then we have our Flabébé page here, a very nice collection of Flabébé and Floette and Florget. So really nice bunch of pink cards there. And then we have a couple Sylveon fairy cards as well as just a regular one. We have one of the fairy cards for Snubble and none for Granbull yet. We have a couple for Dedenne. And then we need the rest of Tapu Lele's evolutions. No, I need to get those. And we have a big cottony page. Here's where I may, take some out and just leave in some of the fairy cards for Cottony and Whimsicott. And maybe move those to another binder eventually. Here is our Klefki and Cutiefly and Morlul. And then we have Meryl. Bunch of Meryl. Again, if I need more pages, I will keep my fairy type Meryls in here and move the water types to another binder. Here's that special card here for Azumarill. I love that one. And then here's Azurill. And then we have Comfy, Impidimp, Morgrem, Carbink. We have one fairy card for Carbink, Diancie, and Screamtail. And then these are some of our, the ones that I only have a few of. So like our Galarian Rapidashes and the Alola Ninetales. I love that card. And I have a good collection of Xerneas now. So all fairy cards for Xerneas. Then we have Mawile and Weezing. And then we've got some of our EXs that I believe are in this collection. At least they are on some of the lists that list off these as fairy types. So again, I'll keep working on this and researching it. And then I've put Mimikyu on the back here because I do hope to get some more Mimikyus as well. So really awesome progress on this binder so far. And that addition of all those fairy cards was really nice for our fairy type binder. I'm also going to go ahead and insert this here too. I opened this just right after I finished filming. I found one more piece of mail with my Mega Mawile EX fairy card here that I was looking for. I only had this in the extra large card before, and I was hunting down the regular size. So that will also go in the fairy binder. So that is it for Pokemail Monday. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at some of the single cards that I ordered this week, and come back next Monday for another Pokemail Monday, and we'll continue building our binders. As I say on all my channels, I hope everyone is having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.